Alright dudes, here we go. Start of the 12-week program. This video is going to contain weeks 1 through 3, which is going to be a 4-day split. Chest and triceps, back and biceps, legs and calves, and shoulders and traps. So that's what you're going to see throughout the duration of this video. The rest times are going to be within 30 to 90 seconds. This is all going to depend on what exercise we're actually doing at the time. If we're doing a big compound movement, like squats or bent over rows or deadlift or whatnot, we're usually going to take a little bit longer time to rest, usually around the 90-second, just so that way the next set we can really hit it hard just as much as we did the first. Some of the isolation exercises, either it be flies or curls or extensions, anything like that, usually take a little bit shorter rest time. One, the lift doesn't take quite as long, and two, since you're not involving a whole lot of muscle, it doesn't really need a lot of recovery time, so we just try to keep the heart rate up by lowering the rest times on more of the isolation exercises. So typically isolation exercises 30 to 60 seconds, and then for the big compound exercises, in extreme examples, 60 to 90 if we're really feeling winded, but typically we like to keep it about 30 to 60 in most examples. Like Brandon said, really we do it where the guy's resting just as the other guy's doing the exercise, and then you just keep switching out. Usually it takes about 30 to 60 seconds. Having said that, we are ready to get started, so let's do it.
We didn't realize our first day in the gym actually landed on a holiday. It's Martin Luther King Day here in the States, so the gym is packed. So we actually had to do a few alternate exercises. As you'll notice, we're doing dumbbell incline bench as opposed to barbell, and now we're doing the hammer strength bench as opposed to just the traditional flat bench. Still the same exercises, but we're just switching it up a little bit. We had to because the gym is so packed.
First phase of the program, the prep phase, weeks 1 through 3, we're going to focus on a little bit higher reps on the deadlifts. One, to really get the form down and get the confidence when you go really heavy that you know you're doing it right. And two, to really work on the endurance muscles too. So that way your grip, your shoulder blades, everything stays in the proper place and you keep the proper form throughout the lift. So when doing high repetitions, you're really teaching the muscle how to keep up with the bigger muscles to really build that endurance within the smaller muscle groups and within the bigger muscle groups as well. So as the program continues and deadlifts, the weight begins to increase. You're more confident in the lift because of how many repetitions you did in the beginning phase, and then also your muscles are prepared when you go really heavy because everything kind of stays in place and you keep that proper form. I should be sent to the forge for getting out of shape. Well, walking lunges may not be the same as going to a hell forge, but sometimes it feels like it.
want to do a quick shout out to Lewis Marshall from St. Albans, England. Just want to say hi and just stay motivated, because soon enough you're going to be buff. Have a good workout, and hopefully you're following that 12-week plan along with us. Overhead press, one of our favorite exercises for shoulders. A major compound movement, hitting all three heads of the deltoids, and this is gonna really kill those shoulders. One thing about this is you always gotta remember is lock those knees out. That way you're getting no bounce in them. And also you wanna get a nice lockout at the top too, squeezing the traps. That way it sets them at the top position and really stabilizes them, and you get a little extra squeeze at the top. So these ones, and we're gonna, next is gonna be the upright rows, another one of our favorites, compound exercises, really gonna kill those delts. We're gonna take a little wider grip on this specific exercise. A lot of people like to do narrow. Narrow I feel works a little bit more of the traps in the front delt. We're taking it nice and wide, hit more at the lateral head, also a little bit of the traps. And what you wanna do is when you come up, don't come up past parallel to the floor, just come up to about lower chest. That way your upper arms are about parallel to the floor. Get a little bit more activation in the shoulders this way, and relieve some of the pressure that can be on the shoulder joint if you go too high. So this is again one of our favorite exercises, one of the favorite compound exercises for those delts.
With the dumbbell lateral raise, it's another one where you really want to concentrate on lifting with your elbows, not with your hands. You don't want to just be lifting like this. You want to have it with your elbow, like that. And you really don't want your hand to raise above your elbow either, like this. You don't want to do that. It's all about the elbows.
Face pulls, a great exercise to build those rear delts and traps. Kind of more that upper back look, that upper back thickness. It's a great exercise to focus on that. And the different hand grips can either be thumbs facing back, holding the handle, or you rotate your thumbs forward, holding the rope. You don't have to use the rope either. You can use a straight bar as well. Get a nice wide grip, pull it right directly to eye line, get that nice squeeze in the traps all the way back. The elbows can flare out and drop somewhat, so your hands can be a little bit higher in the elbows on this particular exercise to get the maximum squeeze in the scapula or the shoulder blades. So once you complete all that, you should really feel that burn.
Visualization is really important, and it's something we try to use often. For instance, on the barbell shrugs, what we like to visualize is that you're actually touching your ears with your shoulders. So as you're bringing it up, just bring it up as high as you can, and just picture that that's just going right up past your head. I mean, you're trying to bring it as high as you can. Just bring it up and then bring it back down. Straight up, straight down. No rotation, no anything. But just as you bring it up, try to bring it up as high as you can, like you're just touching that midway ear point.
All right, dudes and girls, we are done with the first week of the prep phase. We got 2 more weeks of this, and then we're moving on. And we are feeling pretty good about this prep phase right now, because if we would have just jumped right in, we would have been over our heads, because this kind of kicked our ass, to tell you the truth. But we're getting in the routine, so that's good, and we hope you are too. And that's what it's all about. It's about getting in the routine. We have 2 more weeks of this. First week's done. Body's feeling sore, but feeling really good, feeling pumped. The muscles are already looking a little bit more dense, more hard, since exactly what we want. You know, with the proper nutrition, the good sleep, it just goes to show you how the body adapts to certain, you know, exercises and certain loads you put on it for your benefit. So as it progresses, it's just going to get better and better, but it's also going to get harder too. So really work up to this. Even if you have to say an extra week on this phase, definitely do that, just to prepare your body, because it is going to get more difficult 5 days a week, 6 days a week, so on. So as long as you stick with it, you'll be good in your body, and you'll start seeing that transformation and seeing those changes. And that's exactly what we want to do, is see them in the progress pictures. And with the progress pictures, if you haven't done it, do it. You really want to see that change from week 1 to week 12. There's going to be a huge change, and you want to use that as motivation. So if maybe you're hitting kind of a plateau around week 6, week 8, you can look back on that first week and go, wow, I've made some huge changes. Another thing, we've been reading the comments, we've seen some of the questions as far as, you know, what do I do if I don't want to put a lot of weight on? I'm not really used to some of these exercises. Hey, that's totally cool. Just work on that form, especially during these first 3 weeks. If you haven't done deadlifts before, if you haven't really done squats, watch the videos where we describe how to do them in detail. And the thing is, just work on that form. Don't worry about the heavy weights. Just worry about being comfortable. That's what it's all about. You want to be comfortable and you want to be confident. You want to learn how to do it right so you continue to do it right. You're not, you don't have to correct anything down the line.
Yeah, it's not only about prepping the body, it's also prepping the mind too. Getting the confidence to lift certain exercises, especially those major compound exercises that take a lot of form, technique. So getting the confidence in doing those will really bring the confidence up through any kind of lifter program you do in the future too. So once your body is prepped, your mind is getting prepped too, and the mind is even more important than the body because that really controls the body throughout this whole deal. So you really want to focus on also the mind too, and getting the confidence, the education, and also the willpower and motivation to keep going.
All right, well, we are all wrapped up. Next video we're going to do is we're going to focus on the food we've been eating through weeks 1 through 3, and we will see you again at the start of phase 2, which is weeks 4 through 6. All right, take it easy, dudes.